Total outstanding foreign debt of the government has increased by 60% during the past decade. Economists point out the government will have to obtain more debt to repay the existing foreign debt.
By the end of 2009, an average of $1 billion was paid out as foreign debt repayment annually. However, by 2019, this figure gradually increased to $4.7 billion. Meanwhile, the central bank said last week Sri Lanka is due to settle a foreign debt obligation of $4.8 billion in 2020. Deputy Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe pointed out the government will have to obtain more foreign debt, including commercial loans.
We at least need about $7 billion of reserves. So compared to that, if we want to maintain the current level of around $7.5 billion, we actually have to raise the full foreign currency debt and interest cost component in the fresh year 2020. So they definitely have to raise that amount of foreign currency. So you can raise more from SLDBs. So the maturing SLDBs can be rolled over and re-raised, or slightly higher amounts can be raised as well. Then definitely they will have to, for the balance, they will have to go for either bilateral loans or large sovereign bonds, where they will have to do more closer to the second half of the year. You don't raise this amount of debt, government will have to actually pay off the debt from the reserves, then the reserves will actually come down. So definitely they will have to go on and raise this amount of debt, and there will be a bit of pressure on interest rates as well.
The bond scam of the central bank in February 2015 has caused a severe effect to the debt burden of the country. As a result of an arbitrary increase in the interest rates offered at that time for the bonds that were purchased by the central bank and issued by the central bank at that time, the exchange rates, it had an impact on the exchange rates. The rupee value of the exchange rate, foreign exchange, fell down, decreased. As a result, in the country had to pay a larger amount in the repayment of debts that had already taken by the country at that time, and also the debts that were incurred thereafter in rupee terms. As a result, the repayment caused a heavy burden to the economy of the country, and it has become unbearable today directly as a result of the bond scam that took place in February 2015 according to this bond scam.
Now, what happened to the money received from the Hambantota port deal? Well, during a media briefing today, State Minister Lakshman Yapa Abeywardena made the following remarks.
මේ හම්බන්තොට වරාය ගනුදෙනු පහුගිය රජයේ ඒ ලබාගත් මුදලින් ඒ වරායට ලබාගත් ණය ගෙවලා තියෙනවද නැත්නම් ඒවා වෙනත් කටයුතු සඳහා භාවිත කරලාද? ගෙවලා නැහැ.
It hasn't been paid. It's been collected to a consolidated fund. From there, they showed a massive amount of foreign investments that came in. The cash inflow was the only recorded foreign investments in 2019. That's not related to loan repayments. We will have to repay the loan. Usually, the money in the consolidated fund is used to repay loans. The central bank must do it, but the money in the reserve will decline. That's the problem. There are no solutions other than increasing export earnings and foreign investments. We are repaying from the government. There is no other way besides using the consolidated fund. What has happened there is a catastrophe. Now those companies also have to pay compensation. Those companies have demanded compensation. We need to have a discussion to resolve the situation. Either we help them through a supplementary budget, or we should pay their compensation fee and go for a new tender method. It's just like the Port City problem.
Port City එකේ ප්‍රශ්නේ වගේම තමයි.